possibility is taking it from an individual's own rib. And if those three aren't appealing to the individual, or we can't take it for one reason or another, we use artificial material, some of which I brought with me today. This is actually SAM, or subcutaneous augmentation material. The real term for that is Gore-Tex. Believe it or not, it's medical-grade Gore-Tex used for facial plastic surgery.
And this is for revisions, or is it used in primary?
It can be used in either for the fewer cases of primary that require augmentation or addition of tissue. We can use this material. But often in primary, there's enough cartilage or tissue elsewhere in the body that we can use. It's often in the revision rhinoplasty case where there isn't enough tissue. The ears have been already operated on. The nose has been already operated on. That we must resort to these materials. Another one is, this one, as you can feel, is rather soft and malleable.
Yes.
This is another material called MedPore. And what that is, that actually is quite structurally sound, and it gives us the definition and the support that is so much lacking in revision rhinoplasty.
You don't hear much about revision. Why? You hear or you see changes in an individual, and you know they've had some kind of surgery, but you don't hear much about revision. What are we talking about in time frame? When somebody like that, or the woman before, where the structural integrity was affected and the nose collapses, how long does that take?
It can take anywhere from a year to almost 10 or 15 years. It really and demonstrates why rhinoplasty is such a complex operation. We're not only dealing with the structures that are there at the time of the surgery, but also the healing process, the way the nose contracts over time. The skin in an individual has to be taken into consideration, because thicker skin contracts less and thinner skin contracts more. And so that has to be another component taken into consideration when evaluating the steps necessary to correct an individual's nose. So it can be varied. It can be quite in the first year, or it can be later. But I think one of the main reasons we don't hear about it so much is the public may not necessarily be familiar with the distinction between a revision work and a primary work. They are botching it all together, if you will, as another nose job. But it really is two quite different surgeries.
Well, Dr. Miller, you've taught us a great deal about plastic surgery. It's more than just a pretty face. It's you said form and function, and at one point, I guess, form was the most important thing. I have to come out of this with a nose that will get me on to the soap operas or whatever, and function was not so important, but today we're beginning to think more of function. And I thank you so much for joining us here today and telling us about your work. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us today on Research Report.